Hello and welcome to the first Brook Court House Assembly of the Easter term. I just want to run through what is expected of you over the next few weeks, how the house can be here for you, how it can help you, and don't forget to use us. Isolation is a tough time, but the start of a new term can give you structure again, can help you get some shape back into your days. Maybe you've become a bit of a nocturnal creature recently. Maybe you've seen more of Call of Duty or Fortnite than you have of your textbooks. And maybe now you need to get back to work and look at creating new targets for yourself. The most important thing for me is that this does not become a lost term. In Peter Pan, you have the Lost Boys. And the idea is a group of children that fail to ever grow up. This term is about not becoming lost boys. It's about you all being fortunate enough to have parents that send you to a school whereby we are using this time to support you and make sure that you thrive and succeed. You're being trusted on your computers, you're being trusted on your devices more than ever. And you need to show that you can use this in the way that they were initially intended. How Mr. Bill Gates first developed computers and not how Mr. Steve Jobs has turned them into entertainment machines and dopamine dispensers. Many of you have answered my calls for help. George, Billy, Freddie, Heyman, Nacho, Ben, Jamie, Charlie, Ed. You have taken the time to add to the podcast over Easter and show that there really is still substance to a house even when the physical building is no longer there for you. Others have sent in photos of our wonderful world, and I would still love to see more of those coming in. If you're having any trouble with emails, any trouble with Microsoft Teams, trouble with lessons, trouble with submitting work, let your teachers know straight away. If you're in a different time zone, you're finding it hard. If you're in the same time zone, just remember to register yourself. Make it obvious that you're there, whether that's with a comment, whether that is with a question, or whether that is even just by doing a little thumbs up sign to one of the instructions on the screen. Remember, you're being recorded like it's a normal class. Your work is being marked and recorded like a normal class. Chits are being sent and recorded like a normal class. Also, if you don't feel pushed enough, if you think that morning lessons are not enough for you, again, email, speak to your parents, speak to your tutor, speak to me. But this is a time about growing up in other senses too. You have more time than you would do in a normal school day or in house. Do some art, push yourself, make a movie, write a short story, start a blog, start a vlog, start podcasts, start baking, start cooking. Excuse me. I've never cooked more in my life. I've begun writing a novel. I've been doing art. I've been doing DT with my children. We made a tray, we decorated it, and then we served coffee and biscuits to Mr. Winter while social distancing. Man of the Week is a strange but easy one this week, and it's not to any of the boys in the house. It can only go to Mr. Evans for making over 900 face visors for local hospitals and care homes. He has been working non-stop over Easter. And although he is not part of Brook Court, there has never been a more apt time to offer this award to somebody outside of the house. This week's podcast has been released at the same time as this house assembly. And again, with a bit more of a focus outside of Brook Court. With everything that's going on in the world, the safety and support of your homes and this house and your housemates has never been more important. However, coming together as a school and as a wider community has also never been more important. This week's podcast has music from Oscar's brother Tom Richardson, who was challenged in the last podcast by Nacho. It also has a sports update from Ollie Smart, James Humphreys, Nick Nurse and Ellie Clark. These sports stars and captains from school offer tips of eating well, eating healthy, keeping healthy and keeping fit in isolation. If you missed the CAG group doing their roundup, then have a listen to the Week 4 podcast, or go on the SoundCloud channel and listen to the whole of their discussion. It's really good. We will keep on making these podcasts. We'll keep sending in ideas, quizzes, musics, challenges. There are still a few incomplete music challenges out there for Brook Court boys. I won't name and shame you, but you know who you are. We'll be looking at movie reviews, book reviews. Mr. Suckle has sent out a list of free library resources and classic films. Rear Window and 12 Angry Men will be the first two that I will be looking at and critiquing in next Tuesday's podcast. If you would like to help with this, then click on Mr. Suckle's link. It was in the weekly update sent out by Mr. Hall, and watch those two films and get back to me if you'd like to be part of the discussion. Books. I've just read Moriarty and Vox over the last week, both very different but brilliant books. Are there any you've read recently that you could recommend during this time? So, if you've just spent 3 weeks doing nothing but game and flick through Snapchat, now is the time to recapture and refocus your life. Now is the time that you should show that you can set and achieve targets. When you return to actual school and have to get back to real work in a physical classroom, you can only look and reflect on what you've done over these last few weeks. Dean Close and Brook Court will do everything that we can to give support and structure during this difficult time. You just need to take that support, take that structure, take that opportunity, and like an athlete taking a baton in the cancelled Olympics, just run with it. You cannot be like Joe Exotic and blame Carol Baskin if you have not used the next few weeks to your advantage. As I said, get in touch if you need help with anything, but otherwise until next week. See you then.